Hello guys, welcome to this episode of DOSBite. In this week's episode we'll be looking at some of my favourite games of the 90s on a compact disc, known back in the day as CD Rom. Now some of the games I used to love playing are games like Warcraft 2. This is absolutely brilliant. Who remembers that? Put in the comments below. And just before we carry on, don't forget to feel free to write in the comments the type of games or the games that you used to play in the mid-90s. Now obviously you've got the obvious ones like Doom and Quake and all this, but I just wanted to draw your attention to some of the other games that you may or may not know. So Warcraft 2 was definitely a game I used to quite enjoy as a kid. I used to always get all scared when the bad guys would creep in, the orcs would attack you in your little town. But I had hours of fun playing that. I remember my granddad buying me that, and I think I first played this on a Amstrad, an old DOS computer, retro computer. I didn't know what the spec was at the time because I didn't know enough about that sort of thing as a kid, but I think it was like a 386, something like that. Or possibly even a Packard Bell with a Pentium 1. Now a game I still play a lot, and some of you will probably recognise, is Need for Speed 2 Special Edition. Still my favourite game or racing game of all time. I still play this with my mate from time to time, and we've done many fantastic hours on this game. I absolutely love this game. I still play it now on my retro laptop over there, or on my retro build that I've built. And it's just, I love it. I love it. I love playing. If you recognise this game, put in the comments below what car you used to like driving with. My favourite car was the McLaren F1 for the speed, you know, the best. But if I wanted something with a bit more easier to drive, or if I was using, I think, C-Class, I used to use the Indigo, and we used to love going what me and my mate still call the Indigo track, which is I can never remember what any of them are called, but the one where it's all like in the rainforest and all that sort of jazz. I'm sure someone in the comments will be able to fill me in what it's actually called, but we used to just give our own nicknames to all of them. But I know I used to love this. The intro, I remember first playing the demo back in the day, and like and the intro to this just blew me away because it was a cool bit of video. Because I guess before this I was playing like LucasArts, Indiana Jones and Prince of Persia and stuff like that. So this was just like miles ahead of that sort of thing. If you get value so far from this video, smash the like button, consider subscribing. We also have merch. So go and check out the link in the description, as well as some affiliate links. And if you want to join our over 60,000 member community on Facebook, we have a link to that as well. There we go, there's Need for Speed. I will talk more about it, but then the video will literally go on for hours. But please feel free if you want me to talk more about it. Now a game I've talked a little bit about, and those of you that are over on the Facebook community will know I mention this game a lot, The Dig. I believe it came out in '95. This was a LucasArts game. It was supposed to be a film or series. There's a bit of controversy on that, but as far as I'm aware, I think it was sort of in the works for one or the other, and it was just cheaper to make a game. And what a game it was. The intro is still one of my favourite intros of that era, and for me the music is one of my favourite background tracks on games, period. I absolutely love The Dig. I think it's an absolutely brilliant game. I love the characters, Commander Lowe and his team saving the world from an asteroid, and then they get taken away to an alien planet, and you basically have to, it's basically a point and what's that? A point and click adventure game, and you basically have to solve lots of puzzles to find your way back. But it's just the music really pulls you in, the atmosphere of the game, and I love this game. This is definitely one of my favourite games of all time, though to be honest I only play it occasionally because it's a type of game you really have to be in the mood to you know, sit there hours trying to solve puzzles. And even now I still sometimes have to get a YouTube walkthrough. I remember back in the day buying certain books in local stores to try and work out how to get past certain bits. It was always annoying. The bit that used to always annoy me was this bit here, was putting together the skeleton. I've even put a picture there to help me out nowadays. And finding the right rods for the right door, though you were convinced you had the right code, it used to change every time, and it used to, I don't know, just confuse me. But anyway, on the whole, I used to absolutely love this game. Hours playing this. First played this probably on our first Packard Bell Pentium 1. I think that was sort of the year I first played this. We had the demo on one of those, I don't know if you can see it, hang on, yeah. Smash like if you remember these, the CD Rom Today CDs, I actually love these. My granddad used to hate them because they used to clog up his computers, but I just love looking down the list, loading up the Windows games or the DOS games and spending hours playing all these CD Rom todays. Couldn't go back in the mid-90s without talking about them, I'm sure. And then Red Alert is a game that I'll be honest, I play the remaster now on Steam, but hours of fun on this. And I remember back in the day, you used to have the big Red Alert box. I think I've lost it now, sadly. But I used to put all my games in that when I used to go to my grandparents for the weekend. And obviously this was one game that was always in there, along with things like Age of Empire and Warcraft and whatever else I was playing at the time. But I used to love doing this. I used to quite like the campaign. But to be honest, and even now, I prefer just doing skirmishes. I love it, just building the base, wiping out the enemy, thinking, you know, taking over the world. I just love Red Alert Command & Conquer. It's brilliant. I have vaguely played the newer ones over the years, but to be honest, because I'm old school, I just prefer going back to the old ones. And just briefly, we haven't really mentioned it, there's something about, it's not quite a floppy disk, but there's something about nowadays, you know, especially now everything's online and downloading, there's just something about a compact disc, a CD, whatever you want to call it, and just slotting it in, putting it in the tray, installing it, and every game seemed to do it differently, and just off it went. And I didn't know this till recently, but actually I used to think CDs were just like a big 90s thing and forward, but apparently they were around for 10, 20 years before that. And if my memory serves me correctly, I think they were actually invented in something like the 50s or something. Please put in the comments below if you know. And they were much bigger and stored obviously much less data, because I used to think it was just floppy disk before that, but I was corrected. So that was a bit of interesting history for us. The CDs have actually been around for much longer than some of you may know, but I appreciate that some of you probably already know that. And then I just thought I'd also mention a game. Funny enough, I was playing last night, and I play this again on my retro laptop and occasionally on my home build. It's just a bit more awkward to set up a PC. CivNet, absolutely love this game. Civilization, I've played all of them over the years, and for whatever reason, I just keep going back to CivNet. I don't know why. Again, I first played this on, our first Packard Bell Pentium 1. I think it was like 133 megahertz, 60 megabytes of RAM. I always remember it had like a 1 gigabyte hard drive, which was massive in the day. And I know there's mixed opinions about Packard Bell, but for me, it was just a safe, awesome journey of enjoyment playing all these games. And I don't know, I just love this game. I think it's just the empire building, the fact you can name your own towns, the making alliances, building new empire, watching your empire grow, inventing new inventions, you know, watching new technologies that live within your cities and towns and whatnot. And I don't know, I just absolutely love this game. And for me, the mid-90s was all about CivNet, and to be honest, I still play it now. It's still one of my favourite empire building turn-based strategy games. Along with things like Total War and that series as well, which to be fair I think it's actually better, if I'm brutally honest, than the Civilization games, but I do love this. So please put in the comments below what games that you used to play on compact disc, CD Rom, whatever you want to call them, in the comments below in the mid-90s to late 90s. It'd just be really interesting to find out. And if you got value from today's video, don't forget to smash that like button, consider subscribing. And I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. Till next time, go and check out our Facebook community and feel free to share your games and old computers, and we have some great people over there on the community. So thank you again. There's going to be 2 end cards that are going to give you even more value, and I'll see you in the next episode.